Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2021 City of Red Deer Civic Forum. My name is Kimberly Bone. I am event storyteller and virtual event strategist at Creative Twist, and this is our virtual venue Connect event. I wanted to point out a couple of features. First off, you have all been put into our virtual darkened theater. All of your cameras and your mics have been turned off, and the only people who will be able to join the stage are our candidates and our moderator in their turn. If you would like to comment on anything that's going on, you can please use the chat on the right-hand side, and you can also use the remojis that are there as well to comment on what's going on. There is a Q&A tab on the top right corner of the screen, and there you can post any of your questions, and if we have time to get to them, they will. But you can also upvote those questions so the most pressing questions move to the top. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen, and then I will be inviting to the stage our MC for this evening and moderator, and that is Ken Colby with the Alberta Chambers of Commerce. Ken? Can I get you to turn your camera and your mic on and join the stage?
Yeah, I'm good. Can you see me?
You're here.
Perfect.
Welcome.
Okay, my name is Ken Colby. I'm President and CEO of the Alberta Chambers of Commerce. First off, I am not in Red Deer. I'm in Edmonton, in full disclosure, and I will take total. Since we're using a brand new platform here, I'll take total responsibility for all technical issues and any other issues such as that. So if there's a screw up, it's your moderator's fault. It gives me a great deal of pleasure to be your moderator this evening. Due to the large number of candidates, venue and AHS COVID restrictions, and technological limitations, the Red Deer and District Chamber of Commerce Municipal Forum has altered the format of the forum for City Council candidates. The Red Deer and District Chamber of Commerce is presenting this evening's program in conjunction with Creative Twist Incorporated, the online platform providers. The updated rules of order are as follows, and I'm going to go through the rules for the mayors as well as the councillors. For the mayoral candidates, speaking order will be determined based on the moderator's discretion. Each candidate will have 90 seconds to introduce themselves and outline their platform and main priorities. Candidates will then field questions curated and are provided by the Red Deer and District Chamber of Commerce. There will be 5 questions or more if we can get to them. Each candidate will have 60 seconds to respond to each question, and then each candidate will have 60 seconds for closing remarks. No candidate will be allowed more than his or her allotted time, and the moderator, that's me, will have full control of the microphone at all times and reserves the right to cut off any candidates exceeding the allotted time and may dock speaking time from the candidate's next question if he or she does not comply with the moderator's directions. For councillors, a little bit different. Candidates for the office of City Council are split into 3 groups and will be assigned speaking orders based on alphabetical order. In alphabetical order, each candidate for City Council will be given 45 seconds to introduce themselves and outline their platform and priorities. Each candidate for council will be given 2 additional 45-second time slots to present their platform plan in the areas outlined below. It will be basically 1 question on economic development and 1 question on crime and social disorder. Again, no candidate will be allowed more than his or her allotted time. The moderator will have full control of the microphone. This program will give all registered candidates contesting the position of mayor and the offices of City Council the opportunity to present their political platforms on issues related to the municipal government. Excuse me. As your moderator, I'll keep a close eye on the content of candidates' presentations and will not accept any comments or questions from the floor of a personal nature that may place any candidate in jeopardy. I refer to comments relating to the personal history of any candidate. Questions or comments that I deem to be a personal attack on a candidate will be ruled unacceptable, and I will ask the moderator behind the scenes to mute that comment. I will interrupt a presentation if this happens. We are here to give all candidates the opportunity to express his or her views on municipal issues and to give everyone a fair chance to be heard. All presentations will receive specified times with a warning signal when the candidate is running close to the end of his or her time. Again, watch the little progress bar at the top of your screen. So I think at this point, we're going to call the candidates for mayor to the stage in speaking order, alphabetic again. I'd invite James Allen to give his 90-second opening remarks.
Ready?
Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for lending me your time to share what I see for the future of our city. I have a background in financial auditing, labor, and sales. I'm a former pipe major with the Calgary Highland Cadet Corps, horse training business, and I will be opening up an urban farm here in Red Deer later this year. I am also in the final year of my economics and political science degree before moving on to corporate law. I've spent a little over 4 years as a vice president on the board of directors for the UCP Red Deer South Constituency Association as head of youth outreach. I am the only candidate to release a full, comprehensive plan of what I aim to do for our city. My platform is centered on restoring commerce and community. We have lost businesses over the past 2 years, far too many. My platform centers on creating more business opportunities, a friendlier environment for entrepreneurship, and restoring the respect between city and established businesses, especially downtown. Under my leadership, the city will move with rapid pace to ensure Red Deer becomes a true economic power within our province and becomes the top location in Western Canada and families to settle. Red Deer needs leadership by example. Our city needs strong and determined leadership that will not shy away from the challenges we face. Red Deerians are tired of excuses and the status quo, and so I offer a plan that prioritizes Red Deerians, emboldens our economy, and secures our streets.
Thanks, James. And a great example to all. You came right in under your allotted time. Thank you. Next candidate, well, ask for opening comments is Buck Buchanan.
Thank you very much, Ken, and certainly thank you to the chamber for hosting this. I would be the first to suggest to you that I'm a little techie challenged, so I wouldn't suggest that if anything goes wrong that it's your fault. So anyway, as I said, my name is Buck Buchanan. I am presently a city councillor, 4-term city councillor, and I'm running for mayor, as everybody is aware. The issues as I see them are crime and safety, our downtown, and as James just said, the economic development. My platform has been based on relationship, and relationship. I think primarily our number one relationship is with our citizen, and we have to ensure that that is taken care of. I believe our second, for me anyway, our relationship is in regards to our staff and council, and that has been a bit of an issue in the past. I've heard the word dysfunctional, and I certainly don't believe that, but I think we do have some challenges. My third relationship, again, is in regards to the region and our partners. I think we not only have to be a good neighbor, we have to act like a good neighbor, and hopefully I can get your vote, not yours, Ken, but people of Red Deer this coming election. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Buck. Next up is Ken Johnson.
Ken, if you could just unmute your microphone and turn your camera on, you will be on stage.
That's Ken Johnson. Unmute your microphone and turn your camera on, please. Kimberly, while he's having trouble with that, maybe we should move on to the next candidate. Would that work?
Yes.
Okay, so I will come back to Ken to see if he's got his issues figured out. We're going to go with Brad McGee is the next candidate up. Brad, please unmute your microphone and turn your camera on.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Sure can.
Perfect. Thank you very much. My name is Brad McGee. I'm running for mayor here in Red Deer. I've lived here for 19 years. I met my wife here, and we have 3 beautiful daughters together. I spent 18 years working in the oil field between management and supervision, and learned a lot of different things in that area, especially concerning accountability. So the basis of my platform is accountability, honesty, and growth. I believe that we need accountability back in our city hall and to our city council. We need to be a little bit more honest too. I feel that we're not always told everything that we should know. And as far as growth goes, we have so many different areas within the city that we can grow and that we should be growing in that we've been held back on. So those are the kinds of things that I want to push forward with as mayor of Red Deer. We have many issues within the city: our homeless, our crime, our business diversity that we really need to open up and really look at. And we've got way too many empty businesses and empty doorways that really need to be opened back up, and we need to really entice new business to come here. We need to invest in new business to come back to the city. Anyways, thank you very much for the invitation, and we'll see how this goes.
Thanks, Brad. Okay, so let's go back to Ken Johnson, see if we've got his technical issues figured out. Ken, if you could unmute your line and turn your camera on, please. Okay, go ahead, Kim.
I think we'll have to move on. We're trying to troubleshoot with Ken in the back.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to move on to Jeremy Moore. Jeremy, if you can unmute your line. Go ahead, Jeremy.
My name is Jeremy Moore. I'm running for mayor. I was born in Red Deer in 1977. I received my electrical journeyman's from Red Deer College in 2000. I received my master's in electrical in 2002. For 25 years, I've operated an electrical and property maintenance company in the beautiful city of Red Deer. I own commercial properties in both the Burnt Lake and Queens industrial lands. I'm married to Jill, and between us, we have 6 kids, ages 10 through 20. My priorities, number one is the downtown core. To help revitalize that, we need to deal with the homeless, the crime issues, drug use, and the loss of businesses down there. Second, I'd like to deal with improvement in city services. I'd like to continue to work with the city departments in dealing with issues such as snow removal and licensing to improve user access. And lastly, it's important for me that we focus on the economic recovery and dealing with the issues right at hand. It's a very complicated issue going forward. We have inflation and a number of issues that we need to deal with. And with the 2022 capital and operating budgets already locked in, I think we're going to see ourselves in a considerable bind going forward. But thank you very much for having me on.
Thanks, Jeremy. And I'll just go back to Kimberly for a minute. Have we got the issues ironed out with Ken, or do you want me to move into questions?
I am still trying to connect with Ken, so
Okay.
if we could move ahead.
Sure. All right, candidates, this question is coming at all of you in different order. The first question of the evening is, looking back at the last term or two of council, what, in your opinion, was the largest mistake, and what would you have done differently? And since we've got Jeremy on screen already, let's go with Jeremy for that first question.
What the largest mistake was in the last 4 years? Probably, I'd say the pandemic, but that's a tough one to manage. I think managing economic conditions in the downtown I think they've city councils allowed that to decay way too far, and they've been slow to act on the issues at hand. I think in the last year and a half, they've put things on pause there with action plans and issues. I think they've all gone and started working from home. So hopefully we can pick that back up. Hopefully we can work on the economic recovery, and hopefully we can start getting businesses back to Red Deer.
Okay, Brad, we'll go over to you for the answer to that same question.
Well, if I'm going to be brutally honest here, I think it's one of the biggest issues that our city council has faced is that they've held too many things back, like Amazon wanted and provide a distribution center that was denied by city council. There's been 2 other businesses that I've talked to that wanted to expand and grow and increase their net worth, and they were denied by city council. Talking with the Dream Center that it was a fight. It was a massive fight to get their recovery center here in the city. And I have a huge issue with this. There are so many things that are going on within the city that could be moving us forward, could be helping to change these problems and move forward as a city and as a community, that our city council has continued to stifle and stymie at every turn. They've tied their hands multiple times, especially on the C1 zoning clause, the relaxation clause.
Time's up, Brad.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. James Allen, let's get your answer on that question. Unmute, please.
So one of the biggest problems is obviously the homeless problem. I mean, we had a 5-year plan to end homelessness, 2014 to 2018, and there has been no plan, no renewal for it. There hasn't actually been a census about how many homeless people and what in our city in the past 3-4 years. Okay, and they tied their own hands by putting a bylaw against Safe Harbor being there, and they refused to let Safe Harbor make their own case in a public hearing. Now, a lot of the issues that we're seeing from downtown of homelessness, and it's council and mayor's issue, and they have to solve it. They have to deal with it, and that's what I plan to do. We have to solve the issue.
Okay,
where they failed.
Sorry,
it's okay.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
It's okay.
Buck, you're up next.
There, can you hear me, Ken?
You bet.
Okay, I would suggest that probably the biggest issue in the last 4 years, from my perspective, Ken, is again we did a policing study, and again we've come up with an either-or mentality. It's either the RCMP or a municipal force. It seems to come down to dollars and cents. I've suggested that we look at a hybrid. We do have a hybrid in the truest form of the sense, but not what we should have in my opinion. To correct James, there has been points in time studies many times in the past, and I think that gives us certainly the numbers of the homeless. The other thing I think that has been a big issue is in this last 4 years has been the ambulance dispatch, and we could go on and on about the advocacy that was done over that, but we did lose it to Alberta Health Services conglomerate in Calgary. So,
okay, thank you. We're going to move on to question number 2. Kimberly, I'm assuming you're going to let me know if you work out Ken Johnson's issues with getting on. Okay, so moving to question number 2. When it comes to land development, the city of Red Deer works in direct competition with private industry to develop and sell industrial, commercial, and residential land. What is your view on this process, and what, if any, changes to the process would you make as mayor? And I'm going to start off with James Allen first on this question.
I don't really think that the city and private industry should be competing. I think actually private entrepreneurship should take the lead on this. I think that the city should sort of stay behind and guide the cart. I don't think that it is in our best interest long term to be competing with these large and private entities. It just isn't. We want to invite more people to develop here, and we want more jobs here. And that's just how it is. You can't employ people if you don't have jobs, and you don't have jobs if you don't have the industry here. It's just that simple.
Thank you. I'm going to move second on this question to Buck. Buck, if you could unmute and your line, please.
Thanks, Ken, for the opportunity. The land bank has always been a bit controversial, and whether we should be in it or we shouldn't be in it. From my perspective, what the land bank has afforded is the small builder, the builder that only wants to do 2 or 3 houses. So it allows the little guy get in. The other thing about the land bank is that that it puts money back, into the general coffers, which certainly helps the the overall tax cost to people. So it, as it can be, that you are competing with people, it works out that it's a good thing for allowing small guy to get in and money back into to assist the taxpayer.
Okay, thanks. Jeremy, you're next up on that question.
I echo the sentiments as Buck Buchanan there. The only thing I would add is, that lots are being sold at market values and stuff, so that there's no major competition. The other issue too, private developers and stuff, with very little development going on in Red Deer the last number of years, they end up holding on to that. Much of that land is financed. The projects are financed. The land is financed on the development. So to carry it for 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 years without any sales and issues like that, there's hardly a developer out there that would like that business plan. So
I think Jeremy might have frozen up. We'll just see if he unmutes or unfreezes. Okay, we're going to move on to Brad for his answer.
Thank you, Ken. So I have to disagree with Jeremy here. One of the things that I've seen is there's an area called Evergreen that is under Melcor Developments right now, and it has grown and expanded and sold and built in 3-4 years' time, done. And yet a city of Red Deer development called Timberlands that has sat almost empty for the last 7 years. There's 160 lots, 18 of which have been sold, $21.9 million in lost revenue. So here's my concern. If we're going to do this, we need to work together. We need to communicate about the common goals that we both want to achieve and move forward instead of hanging around and waiting and not doing the advertising that we need to do. Like, if we're going to make the city move, we need to move forward and we need to communicate. We need to work together. Thank you.
Thanks, Brad. So we're going to move on to the next question. It's on crime, social issues, and community safety continues to be a top priority for most Red Deerians. What specifically would you do as mayor to sustainably address and resolve crime and vagrancy in our city? And first up on this question is Buck. Buck, please go ahead.
Thanks very much, Ken. And as I said earlier, we've studied this 2 or 3 times, and what we have a tendency of coming to is either stay with the RCMP or go to a municipal force. And what I would like to see is we always talk boots on the street, and of the 160 little plus officers that we have, we only have about 84 that do frontline first response policing. I would like to see the municipality take that piece over, so that the municipality is providing the frontline response policing and contract with the RCMP to do, the more serious offenses, and get into an MOU or an LOU and work with each other to create the situation where we have a true hybrid, and that people can actually, the city becomes more responsive to people's needs in regards to what's going on.
Okay, thank you. Next up on this question is Jeremy. Jeremy, go ahead. I wonder if his screen is still frozen. Okay, maybe we'll skip over him and I'll come back to him in a minute. Let's go with Brad. Brad, please answer that last question.
And this is about crime, correct, Ken?
That's correct.
So our crime issue is multifaceted. There's many issues within our RCMP department that need to be handled first and foremost. We need to abandon the RDPP, the Red Deer Policing Plan, and move back to the annual policing plan that we're supposed to have that is federally approved. That's first and foremost. We have training issues where our current and new constables are being trained by officers that have only been on the force for what do you know about your job in a year? So we need to move with different initiatives where we can increase the training time for the persons that are training these new constables. We have issues where they don't know how to use, say, the breathalyzer and things like that. There's absolutely no need for that. But we need to move forward with different initiatives with our RCMP. We're paying 90% of the RCMP contract. We need to move forward and make sure that our city and our RCMP have an understanding that we can move forward with together and make a valuable change.
Okay, thank you. James, over to you.
I will maintain a zero tolerance policy for crime. Under my leadership, law enforcement and the city will have a new and restored relationship to work together and quell the rampant and excelling crime situation we are facing. My plan includes the reduction and elimination of our homeless crisis because in my first 100 days, I will be proposing a new homeless assistance structure based on tried and proven policies from Canadian and American cities. I support a hybrid or full-scale city model for our policing. Okay, the price that you would pay for a city policing force is marginal because safety is priceless in our city right now.
Thanks, James. I'll check with Jeremy Moore. Jeremy, are you back online?
Yep, I'm back online.
Jeremy, did you catch that last question or you want me to read it again?
No, I didn't catch it.
Okay. Crime, social issues, and community safety continues to be a top priority for most Red Deerians. What specifically would you do as mayor to sustainably address and resolve crime and vagrancy in our city?
Well, I've mentioned this many times before. Just a visual police presence will go a long ways to calming crime and issues within the city. It's very rare that you see or members of our police forces just on patrol. Many times they seem to be just running from one task to another. So an increased visual police presence, I think, will go a long ways to calming the issues.
Okay, thank you. So the next question. In the Municipal Priorities Survey distributed by the Red Deer and District Chamber of Commerce, economic development, business retention, and the attraction of new businesses and people to the city was identified as being the second highest priority after crime and community safety. What specifically would you do to retain existing businesses and residents and attract new ones to our community? And I'm going to start off with Brad McGee first on this one, please.
Well, again, Ken, this is multifaceted. There's so many different areas that we need to look at. So one of the things to bring businesses back and make them feel comfortable in the areas is obviously we need to work on the crime situation. We're hoping to enact some tax initiatives where we can help you to put some more money in your pocket to maintain your business, employment incentives, or we can help you to hire people to help your business grow. As far as the downtown core goes, it is an issue that we need to fix, and it is not something that's going to happen overnight. It is something that is going to take some time to get accomplished, unfortunately. But again, it's something that we need to work on together and work as a community to move forward with. Thank you.
Thanks, Brad. Over to you, James.
Would you mind repeating the question just real quick?
In the Municipal Priorities Survey distributed by the Red Deer and District Chamber of Commerce, economic development, business retention, and the attraction of new businesses and people to the city was identified as being the second highest priority after crime and community safety. What specifically would you do to retain existing businesses and residents and attract new ones to our community?
Well, this question would be a lot easier answered if we didn't blow $100 million in 3 months last year. I think that we definitely need to do reports on how we can provide businesses with enough tax relief so that they are sustainable, but also to invite new businesses. I think that we are in a great position right now in central Alberta to attract and retain, as long as we have the proper policies in place to do so. And so we'll have to do a report on the aggressive movements that we can make in the short and in the long term to sustain that sort of development.
Okay, thank you. Buck, over to you.
And, again, as Brad has said, this is a multifaceted situation in regards to economic development. I think that we need to really monopolize on our geography and, play on the fact that we are the central Alberta and the hub within central Alberta. I think that quite often we get compared to the county, so we're not really comparing apples to apples in regards to what your taxes are. So I think that has to be one of the issues too. I think that as has been said, people are concerned, and crime and safety is an issue for our businesses. But recently we were told that there's been an increase of businesses into the downtown. So hopefully, tax incentives is another way that we can hopefully try to make that happen, Ken.
Thank you. And Jeremy, you're going to be the last speaker on this question. Go ahead.
Plain and simple, I think it's tax incentives, and we got to get that competitive edge back. You hear that apples to apples, oranges to oranges. There's no doubt Gasoline Alley has a competitive edge on us, and that's why they're drawing in the professionals and they're drawing in the big box stores. They're drawing it all in. Red Deer's got to come to the table and get competitive. It's just that simple. We're going to continue to lose because Gasoline Alley is becoming the more desirable place to build. So strong leadership needs to be brought in and serious.
Okay, thank you. And this is likely going to be our last question for the segment before we get into wrap-up comments. The relationship between the City of Red Deer and Red Deer County is of major importance. The intermunicipal collaboration framework outlines the numerous ways the two municipalities interact on everything from the airport to emergency services to wastewater and Westerner Park. In the past few years, the city has lost many businesses as they chose to build and or relocate in Gasoline Alley or neighboring industrial zones. To describe the current relationship as strained or tense could be an understatement. As mayor, how would you manage the relationship between the two municipalities? And Jeremy, you're first up on this question.
It's my understanding it took a year or two to create that document and create that agreement. It seems over COVID there, everything stopped. I think you got to have a one-on-one relationship. It's time for the mayor to go meet the mayor of Red Deer County and be as productive. It's just that simple. I think once you build that relationship face to face, it'll go a long ways in harmony between the two groups.
James, you're next.
In my plan, I actually outlined this because the City of Red Deer will aim to obtain a new intermunicipality development plan with the County of Red Deer that strongly advocates for Red Deer, its citizens, and its businesses. This will include either expanding the City of Red Deer's growth area to cover Gasoline Alley, or the county providing financial compensation for the financial loss burdened by the city outlined in a financial report I would like done by administration. Until our economy is shown to be growing, stable, and reliable, road infrastructure and financial partnerships, aside from emergency services, with the County of Red Deer will be paused. The City of Red Deer will no longer sacrifice its own economic future by assisting the growth of its competitors or the subversion of economic traffic. Gasoline Alley is a siphon of economic revenue and has become a serious, hyper-increasing economic competitor.
Thank you. Buck?
Thanks again, Ken, for this question. This is the ICF is always an interesting situation because what we've done in the past, or what has happened in the past, is that if you've got, then we haven't. So it becomes somewhat self, what's the word I'm looking for? We are somewhat reluctant to deal with somebody getting something that we don't. Presently, that's the relationship. That's the third form of my platform, is with the region and with the county. And I presently have a very good relationship with Mayor Woods. I'm not suggesting that he's going to get to be the mayor again, but I think through our Central Alberta Economic Partnership, and as the neighborhood goes, so goes Red Deer. I think that when the region does well, we do well, and vice versa. When Red Deer does well, so does the region. So I think that's what we have to focus on.
Thank you. Jeremy?
This is the the Red Deer County and Red Deer question?
Yeah, Red Deer County and Red Deer.
I was the first one to answer it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I miss somebody on the questions? Okay. So we're going to move on now.
Hang on, buddy.
Go ahead, Brad.
So the city has actually pretty much paved the way out to the county for the current downtown businesses with high taxes and bylaws that have said that they can only have certain businesses downtown. We're going to need to open up that communication doorway, not shut it down, James. We can't cancel our emergency services to the county. They pay their taxes. We pay our taxes. We all have a right to emergency services. So keep that in mind. Secondly, we need to work with the county to build anything really, whether it be manufacturing, assembly, it doesn't really matter, where the county can benefit from the tax base and we benefit from the employment base. We need to work together. All of this back and forth and blaming each other for everything that's going on is not getting us anywhere. We need to move forward and stop looking in the past and looking over our shoulder at everything that's going on. Forward. Thanks, Ken.
Thank you. Okay, so now we're going to go into the wrap up, and I'm going to ask in reverse order of the candidates to do their wrap up comments. Again, you have 60 seconds. So I'm going to start off with the wrap up comments with Brad. Brad, please go ahead.
Thanks, Ken. So obviously, Red Deer, we need some change. We need to see a vision that we all want to see realized. We want to see a stronger Red Deer. We want to see a bigger community base. I think that's something that we're really lacking here lately, is the strength of community. And when we all work together, we can accomplish great things. And that's exactly the kind of thing I'm offering you. So please check out my website, and we'll see you at the polls on October 18th. And if you really want to see the community come back together, you want to see businesses come back, you want to see what we all know Red Deer to be and what we all want it to be, you know where to go and you know how to vote and you know where it's going to be. We'll see you on October 18th. Thank you.
Thank you. Jeremy?
Just a couple more issues I'd like to touch on in my closing comments here. In my opinion, the mayor needs to be a strong advocate for improved healthcare funding in the Central Alberta region. We need to get those funds that I've talked about for many years into our hospital. I believe as the mayor, it's a responsibility to carry that out and to help mobilize that. I echo the same thing as Buck Buchanan. Bring back central dispatch. It's critical on our ambulance dispatch. And one of the last comments, mayor needs to work constructively with city council. You need to find common ground, and you need to work in the best interest of the Red Deer citizens. We need to moving in the same direction together and constructively. So this October 18th, please vote Jeremy Moore for mayor.
Thanks, Jeremy. Buck, you're next up.
Thanks very much, Ken. And before I get too far into it, I'd certainly like to thank the Chamber for hosting this event and for all that you do. I've been a Chamber member for 15 years and certainly appreciate what the Chambers do. I think that, as the mayor, I definitely have to be accessible, and accountable to you. That's my job, and I think that that's council's responsibility as well. As my platform says, it's relationship, and you've talked about it during this. Number one, our relationship with our citizen or our customer, if you will. Number two, our relationship within council and with our staff. And then, as you just touched on, the relationship in the neighborhood with our partners, whether that be the Westerner, the airport, the county, and like I said, on the 18th, please vote for Buck for mayor and get out there and vote.
Okay, before I recognize the last speaker on this one, I will come back after James is completed just to see if Ken Johnson is back online. I know that he's had some technical issues, but we're going to go now to James Allen for your wrap comment of 60 seconds.
Well, thank you to the chamber, and thank you for everybody who attended. I would say that collaboration definitely has its place, and it is very constructive at many points in time. However, right now, we really need to focus on Red Deer, and we need a mayor who will focus on Red Deerians and prioritize the city. We have too many issues, and we need to look inwards and fix our issues before we can look outwards and start helping the rest. Now, I would really hope that you get out there on October 18th and vote for whomever you believe is the best candidate. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Kimberly, I'm going to go back to you. Have we got Ken Johnson's technical issues ironed out yet?
I wish we did, but I haven't been able to reach him. I know that Shelley is trying her best to connect with him.
Okay, that's unfortunate. So what we're going to do, look at that, right on the timing on the script. We're going to take a break right now. It's 6:15 p.m. I would mention that during this break, you are welcome to visit the mayoral candidates on the second floor and city councilor candidates on floors 3 and 4. And we will reconvene back at the general stage at 6:30 p.m. Thanks, everybody.